It's Bruno at the Seattle Boat Show, and I am thrilled to have found a composting toilet. And now Zack is going to walk us through some basics.
Yep. Basically, how a compost toilet works is you have a separation of your liquids and solids, which is why you don't have the smell. Compost toilets, they're inside the bowl, they're angled downward, so all the liquid flows forward. And us men can actually stand up and use the toilet, which is kind of a nice feature. And when it comes time to using the solids, we have a little lever that we have on the side of the toilet that we opened up the hatch on the inside. The solids actually fall into peat moss or cocoa fiber. Some people have used coffee grounds. You can use sawdust. There's a lot of things you can use for the mixture. And when the solids fall into that mixture, we have a little hand crank. You turn that 2 to 4 times. And the agitator inside kind of mixes everything and brings it to the center. That allows the bacteria and enzymes to start doing their thing, breaking things down. Now, we do use a little bit of energy, a little computer fan essentially, which draws 0.06 amps every hour.
That's just to get air flowing through the chamber to increase the ability for the composting to happen.
Yes, it causes evaporation. You can actually be outside by the exit vent, and all you're going to smell is kind of a garden musty smell. So this is definitely not about smell, but breaking down everything.
In most people's minds, they think, oh, this is like bringing an outhouse onto your boat, but it's actually the opposite. The holding tanks that are enclosed, like mine, once they get to a point where there's a certain amount of activity, the vents that start breathing that stuff into the outside air, it comes into my cabin and it smells like an outhouse. This is the opposite.
Yeah, and what's so nice is the liquid you'll be changing out more frequently, probably every couple days, but the solid tank with 2 people using this full time, you're only going to dump once a month. And a lot of times on your trip, you'll be back at the slip, and now you can go to a proper area to dump it. You can place it in a brown paper bag and throw it out that way. It's going to be much cleaner. And some people I've talked to that actually take it home, start another pile where they can actually further the compost another couple months or so, and now you can place it around your shrubs and trees.
Yeah, and I've heard from other people who've gone through this process, they will take their liquids, and if they're at a marina somewhere, they'll go and find a public toilet.
Yes.
And they'll just put it in there because it goes into sewage treatment.
And for installation, we should probably go to that briefly. There are 2 brackets, 1 bracket on each side of the liquid container and 1 bracket on each side of the solid container.
No hoses, no vacuum pumps. I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Green Boater TV. I would very much appreciate if you could hit the subscribe button, the like button. It helps us keep the channel going. Now, back to the episode.
Just change one thing.
Containers.
No hoses, no vacuum pumps, no big tanks.
No, just 2 stainless.
Oh, I'm going to miss that.
In each bracket that goes on there, and for removal by hand, and there's a spring loaded on the liquid container on the front. You just pop it out, and there's a separate lid for each container that you can carry it, so you don't have to advertise to everybody what you're doing when it comes time for dumping. There's really not a lot other than the screwing down on some people will use a separate starboard because they want to make their toilet mobile, or if you want to have it in a fixed position, that's absolutely fine. I've seen setups where people have drawers, but they can pull it in and out of a drawer. So you're really, whatever your imagination, you can really create something.
There's no hoses and things like that. You're not encumbered by those kinds of installation issues.
Right, and there's nothing to repair. I mean, you clean, so maybe some people like to use vinegar to wipe down the toilet, or you can bleach a rag a little bit and wipe everything down. You want to have the hatch closed, though, if you're going to use some kind of bleach, because I want to keep that bacteria alive. So if I do go to dump this solid container, for example, I want to leave the dirt residue on the outside, because that's a live bacteria that does its job.
Well, let's talk about the cost of operation, because I know the operation of a VacuFlush. So once you've purchased the unit and installed it, what's the cost of operation?
There isn't any. I mean, you don't really replace parts. Let's just say a fan goes out. Well, usually the manufacturer will supply you a free fan, or if it's been 10 years before you need to replace something. It'll be a fan, I'm guessing. I just don't hear about it.
You mentioned cocoa fiber.
Yeah, and that would, if there are 2 of you full time, so you'd be replacing that brick. Let's say it's $3 a brick. I'm not really sure what the garden stores charge. You can buy it online as well.
Yeah, and it's fairly inexpensive.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just summarize. So
yes.
In my project, I'm replacing a VacuFlush system. Sorry, VacuFlush. But I'm just tired of the smell.
Yes.
The cost, because I have to replace pumps. I have to replace hoses. I have to replace the duct bills. There's leaks. I'm tired of the smell. I'm tired of the water usage. And I run out of water, and it goes into my holding tank. And now I've got an issue there.
I like it because it's less dumping in the ocean. Because even if I have a holding tank on my sailboat, sailboat, I still try to wait to go to port if I can to go ahead and empty it out. It bothers me knowing that I have to dump stuff in the ocean.
And it's a timely product because so many of the inland waters now are being polluted. They're being polluted. The biggest source of pollution for boaters is this. This causes all kinds of problems in the marine ecosystem.
Yeah, and I'm talking to lots of people that are changing out for the very reason you were talking about. I like the idea, if you have two heads, why not change out one to see if you like it?
For our viewers, where can they find out more about this unit, and where can they find out more about composting toilets?
It would be airheadtoilet.com.
One word?
Yep, airheadtoilet.com to check out this particular compost toilet.
Zach, we never talked about cost of unit.
It's $1,095.
$1,095.
And that usually would include shipping if you're buying at a trade show.
This has been fantastic. I'm so glad I ran into Zack. So glad I can actually see this unit. And it sounds dead simple to install it, but take a look in the future episodes of The Green Boater. We'll be documenting my process of exchanging my traditional systems with one of these. Zack, thank you very much for spending the time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Green Boater TV. We are looking for 1 million boaters that are willing to change one thing and how they do their boating to help stop ocean pollution. Perhaps this video contained it. Subscribe to this channel for other ideas about how you can create the ocean you love.